It's the Donald Trump gecko. You know the thing. I haven't worn this shirt in quite a while. Actually, I think when I got the shirt, Donald Trump wasn't president again. Anyway, if you were to ask my opinion on how Donald Trump is doing, I think he's doing what he was supposed to do for both sides of the coin. He's doing God's will, but he's also doing the enemy's will, which means some of the choices he's making is for God. They are for God, and the other ones are what Satan's agenda would be. But altogether, we need to remember that God is allowing it. Donald Trump is setting the stage for the end times. He's putting things into place. Look what just happened in Venezuela. Look what's about to happen in Iran. And I just saw a video today where it said that Donald Trump will no longer be sending financial aid or help. I don't know if he said states. He might have said states, but definitely the cities, but probably the states that have sanctuary cities where they're protecting illegal immigrants. He said they're not going to get any more financial gain. And of course, when we see what's been happening in Minnesota, we can understand why. But I saw that video today. So anyway, that's the Donald Trump gecko. Some of you probably never seen this shirt before. I haven't worn it very much. I've had a pile of clothes that I just went through, and so I'll be able to wear shirts that I don't usually wear for videos. And I'll tell a little secret on myself. I don't usually tell what goes on behind the scenes, but I don't wear, when you see me wearing a shirt for a video, that doesn't mean that I wore that shirt all day. It just means that I changed, especially if I do more than one video per day, as you're watching now. I'm not going to tell you how many videos I've done today, but you can probably figure it out if you've been paying attention. Anyway, I just changed my shirt, changed my hat, changed the glasses. Sometimes I'll put a watch on, take one off. I want the videos to all look different. Today you're seeing my very dirty goldfish water. Needs to be changed out. It's just one other thing on my to-do list. I have a lot of things to do. I got to go through the stuff over here. I want to clean that table off. It's just a mess now, but you know, I have no shame. It's all good. All right, 365 Days of Kindness. We're on January the 21st. This is called 490 times. I'm sure you know what that means. Why would the number 490 come up? Well, 7 times 70, right? We'll read. Let's read here first in the Bible, and then I'll read it again here and then get into the devotional. So go to Matthew chapter 18 if you have a Bible, or just listen as I read. The parable of the unforgiving servant, starting at verse 21. Then Peter came to him and said, Lord, how often shall I forgive my brother who sins against me? Up to 7 times, because 7 times was a Jewish number. Like under the Old Testament, it was common to forgive somebody. Like a 7 was a good number. Actually, it was 3 times was a basic Jewish number, like a good round number. But Peter thought he'd be fair and picked 7. If I'm understanding my history correctly, it was 3 times that was the kind of the regular way for the Jews, but Peter made it a little bit more generous with 7. So Jesus said to him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. Therefore the kingdom of heaven is like a certain king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. When he began to settle the accounts, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. But since he was not able to pay, his master ordered that he be sold with his wife, their children, and all that he had, and payment to be made. So the servant fell on his knees, pleading with him, saying, Master, have patience with me, and I will pay you everything. Then the master of that servant was moved with compassion, released him, and forgave him the debt. But that same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, who owed him 100 denarii. He laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me what you owe. So this fellow servant fell down at his feet and entreated him, saying, Have patience with me, and I will pay you everything. But he would not, and went and threw him in prison until he should pay the debt. So when his fellow servants saw what took place, they were very sorry, and went and told their master all that had taken place. Then his master, after had summoned him, and said to him, O you wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you pleaded with me. Should you not also have had compassion on your fellow servant, even as I had pity on you? His master was angry and delivered him to the jailers until he should pay all his debt. So also my heavenly Father will do to each of you, if from your heart you do not forgive your brother his trespasses. Let me simplify that for you. If you don't forgive people, God won't forgive you, and you will have spiritual doorways open in your life, and you will be handed over to demons to be tormented by them until you're able to release all bitterness, resentment, and unforgiveness. 490 times. The author says, this is, let me read Matthew 18, 21 and 22 again really quick, and then we'll see. Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, when my fellow believer sins against me, how many times must I forgive him? Should I forgive him as many as 7 times? Jesus answered, I tell you, you must forgive him more than 7 times. You must forgive him even if he wrongs you 70 times 7. If you are someone who likes to calculate numbers and take things very literally, then you would have come up with an answer to Peter's question as 490. This, however, was not what Jesus was answering in response to the question. As humans, we feel we can be gracious, but we don't want to go so far with our grace that it gets abused. I'm the same way. We think we need to put limits on our generosity toward others. Jesus' response lets us know there are no limits on forgiveness, and it's easy to see why. The grace that Jesus has for us and others is unlimited, and our grace should be the same. Get ready to forgive over and over and over again. But let me add this to that. Just because you're having to forgive someone, as you should, doesn't mean you have to regularly fellowship with them, doesn't mean that you have to, really like being around them. You shouldn't be forced to do those things. It doesn't mean you have to trust them. We just use wisdom. You got to forgive. That's a command, but it doesn't say you have to trust. I mean, we do have to get along with people. And if getting along means keeping a distance and loving them from a distance, I say so be it. But we do need to forgive. The act of kindness says, invite a friend over. Well, I did that last week. Maybe I'll do it again soon. I don't know. But it's an act of kindness. God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in with me. Hope you enjoyed looking at that nasty goldfish water. And until next time, I will see you in the 365 Days of Kindness Devotional.